Today on Zero to Awesome, we change a light bulb using child labor. Lights are up there, little dude. Today on Zero to Awesome, we do more work on the SaraTerra with tiny Cheetos. Aww. Wood stuff or metal stuff today? All stuff. But first, let's see what's happened since the last time you saw SaraTerra. Steven's been productive.
So since then, we took some time to finish framing out the secret snack and other things storage area. So we've got some 1x2s going along here. We finished out the plywood here and along the sides. And then we took everything and we coated it in some spar urethane. So let's talk about that for a second. So spar urethane is waterproof and UV resistant. So that's what we're gonna be using on all of SaraTerra, all the wood portions anyway. It's also what we used on my camper Bob. And so it's really good for waterproofing, protecting from the sun, and it also kind of makes the wood a little bit darker. So on the back here, you can see what color our wood used to be, and after applying the spar urethane, what color it is now. So that's why we're not gonna do a stain or anything on any of the wood, is because it makes it darker to begin with. We're gonna have a small camper here, so we want it to feel big and open, or as much as it can, and we don't want a dark interior. And so the spar urethane that I mentioned, we're doing 3 coats on everything. So 1 coat, typically the wood just soaks it up. 2 coats, we actually have over here. This is the back of our, or bottom of our snack tray, and if I don't know if you can make it out, but you can still kind of see like some of the wood grain through it. But then once you put on the 3rd coat, it comes out really nice and smooth. And the way we're getting that smooth finish is with a high density foam roller. So these you can get from any hardware store. And they're just a smooth foam roller. It's something you wouldn't want to use on hard surfaces, but we're sanding all of our panels down with 220 grit sandpaper, gonna make it really nice and smooth. And then this high density roller can go over it really nicely and gives you a really smooth finish. And what we're also using for all these wood to wood joints where it's really close, you can get them pretty lined up, we're using Titebond 3. So there's Titebond 2, there's Titebond 3, and so 3 is the waterproof version of Titebond. If you get Titebond 2, I think it's just water resistant. And so in here, it probably doesn't really matter, but out there, we're gonna have our outdoor kitchen, it will matter. So we're gonna use Titebond 3 on the whole build. And then when we're doing wood to metal, we're using construction adhesive, particularly PL Premium. You can use liquid nails or whatever brand you want, but we used PL Premium on our last camper build. It worked out pretty well, so we're gonna be using it here too. Another thing you've probably been seeing us use so far is this finishing nailer. So we've been nailing these finishing boards to these more structural boards, and some people probably think that's all you need, but it's not. So the actual bond that's important is the glue bond. So you got your wood glue, you've got your construction adhesive, whatever, and the finishing nails, all they really do is they serve as a clamp to hold the pieces of wood together while the glue dries. And then we go over, we'll fill in our nail holes with some wood putty, and then we'll sand it down and we'll finish over it with the spar urethane. And that's what keeps everything together and looking good. So next what we're gonna do, you can see we've got 1/2 inch foam board here, so there's a gap, and like our floor is gonna go flat over this, so that means we're gonna have a gap here going out to really thin right to here. And so maybe we could have spent, I don't know, hours sanding down the foam board and getting it to align to that angle, but what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna take some of everyone's favorite expanding foam. We're just gonna put a couple of lines of that in here, some up here too where we got another gap. There's actually a gap under there too, and that will make up the space in between our floorboard and our foam insulation, and that will make everything really nice and level and strong. So that's about it. I'm gonna do the foam real quick. I'm gonna screw everything back down, get everything together. That way we have a solid floor base for tomorrow whenever Alan comes over. And I think our next part is probably gonna be the roof, but I've been wrong before, so let's just see what we do. just made a decision. Tell them what we're gonna do.
Well, this board, which is going to be our very fine roofing material, interestingly enough, is the exact same length of the entire roof of the car. So the rest of the headliner's coming out, and this whole thing is gonna be a fine Swedish massage, or steam house. There's gonna be wood, a lot of wood in here. With a little luck, once we get this headliner out of here, we'll find the original hardwood underneath, and maybe it can be resurfaced and used again.
Alan lived in Waco for a while. He has a very strange sense of what's underneath things.
I see some shiplap! "38 inches.
38.
About 10 inches more than a baby. As big as your head."
Okay. You got your safety gear on now. You cut the wood.
It started with a little piece of wood.
No, 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 no. Baby's trying to spill the screws. Bad baby.
This is exactly how they hand build Rolls Royces and Bentleys.
So the roof is in. What we did is we took these, what are they, 1x2s, which actually aren't 1x2, but that's a discussion for another time. We put 1, 2, 3 of those across the roof, and then we took these, what are these called, knotty pine board things, whatever, and so we put some construction adhesives, construction adhesive on the boards, and then we used brad nails to hold them up while the glue dries. And we just kind of started in the middle to get our center line, and then went to the side, then to the other side. And there's a screws in a few places where it was getting kind of tight, but apart from that, it's mostly just glue and a couple screws holding our whole ceiling up. Sounds safe, right?
The story of my life.
And then we are going to probably go back. We marked where our lights were. So there's 12 volt power up there. So we're going to go back and probably either put in lights or something.
I vote for something.
Candy. We're putting candy in the ceiling. Snacks in the snacks compartment.
Then we're getting ants. Hey, Steven, would you like to explain to us how your fancy clamp works?
Well, the problem is there's nothing to nail into. We don't want to put a screw in, and we need to hold the roof up while the glue dries. So, tripod clamp.
There you go, everybody. Tripod clamp.
That's a free tip right there. Don't say we never did anything for you.
It actually works. Like, I'm impressed. We're gonna need more tripods.
That one's structural now.
I feel like this bespoke wooden headliner has a lot of benefits. It's classy as hell, it smells good, And if we get a stain on it, we just sand it off.
I agree. So our original plan was to just do the wood from like the back of the driver and passenger seat back, and then we started doing it, and now I was like, why don't we just like do the whole thing? And that was a good idea because I think it came out really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the nicest headliner in any Xterra ever.
I would second that. The only thing we're gonna have to worry about is termites.
Oh crap, we're gonna need an exterminator. So, roof is done. Next, walls, I think.
We've wooded the bottom, we've wooded the top. You got to wood in between.
Yeah. Or do we start on the slide out I don't know.
We should keep this away from campfires.
So, don't forget about those like and subscribe buttons if those are things you want to press.
Please press them.
I just realized something. The baby's gone, and I'm responsible for it this weekend. Is it in the ceiling?
Last time I saw him, he was using this big saw. Baby awesome! Oh no, where'd the sunroof go? We're going to SEMA! And they're not gonna let us in.
SEMA 2582.
Because that's when we'll be done. You know what? Everything looks cooler with sunglasses. This was just a weed eater, now it's a cool weed eater. Boring old mailbox? Make it a cool mailbox. Faucet cover? Not anymore. Now it's the life of the party. You're a cool faucet cover.